I'm Sinead, and welcome to another episode of the Cardboard Dollhouse build. We're getting to that point where we're going to have to shift over to a different project, but today we're going to work on the something a little different. We're not going to use cardboard, we're going to use wood, and I have employed my son to turn some bed posts for me so I can make a 4-poster bed. And I have had a bit of a try at making hangers and decided that I need to put together a jig to bend the wire around. Bending it by hand is just not really working out for me. So maybe we'll be able to see that jig later in the video, or just know that eventually I'll share it with you. But the bed and the process is coming along. So let's look at what we started with and how it's going. Here's the drawing I created on the computer for Cindy's bed. It has the 4 posts, and the 2 at the head and the 2 at the foot of the bed are different. This is the head of the bed. And then I printed them out full size. And my son currently is out in the garage working on the posts, so he's got the full-size drawings of where he needs to turn and where he needs to leave it square. And if it works out, he's got some cherry wood that he is working on to create the posts. And then I will have to adjust the measurements here to accommodate, because this is more of a overall size of the bed, and so I have to subtract the size of the posts however they turn out. We weren't sure. I drew them at 1.5 centimeters just to have a representation of where I needed it to not be turned. So I'll have to change and subtract out whatever size the posts turn out to be. I'll have to do the math to change the size of the base, and the size of the headboard will also need to be changed. And I'm going to see if I can get him to just do the cutting for me, because it's not that difficult. And he can set up the table saw and whatnot easier than I can, to cut some plywood that I have, and then he'll be off the hook for making this other project because we will have used the materials. He'll like that. I might actually have success there. So fingers crossed that I can get him to do that and that the posts turn out beautiful. These posts just came back in and they look pretty good. I just sent him back out with a piece of plywood that was supposed to be for another project that he was supposed to do. And he's getting to use it for the bed. So I guess that kind of motivated it. I don't know. He was a little reluctant, but did take it on. So we'll get started assembling as soon as that's done. Arthur cut all the parts out for me, and there is a lot of sanding that needs to be done. Here's the headboard, and that's the footboard as it takes up the space. We're not doing a decorative footboard. And you can see these are really rough at the edges, so there's a lot of sanding I have to do, but I'm not going to have you hang around and watch me sand. In fact, if the weather's halfway decent out there, I'm going to go do it outside, because I really have a problem with sanding dust in my bedroom. I just came out to the garage to do the sanding because the weather is kind of moist out there. And Well, it's going to be interesting to find a spot to work in. But since I'm going to do the sanding by hand, I'll just find a corner and hopefully find the sandpaper and get started. I found a corner and finished up the sanding. The pieces here are fairly well done, and I think we're ready to glue it together. And I don't know if I said this already, but there is sunshine out here. Okay, I think I'm ready to glue this together. Got the headboard and we've got the two posts that go with the headboard. And as you can see, it's the same width as the bottom. So when I glued this together, the side that's down is actually going to be the side that shows. So, and you would think I would be using wood glue for this, which I probably should, but I'm not. I am using the Fast Grab. Just what I have in here. I have some wood glue, but the last time I tried to use it, it didn't want to cooperate with me. I think it's getting low or something like that. And let me stick my fingers on there. That didn't work. Okay. So once I get this in place, I'll put a clamp on it, maybe, if I can get the clamp to go on. This could get interesting. I forgot about the need to put glue on both sides. And just in general, having a cloth here to wipe my fingers on. So we're struggling to do this right. I also, now that I put the glue on that post, realized that there was a difference between they're not square. I think the wide side was the side I want facing forward. So hopefully that's right there. And just this is me giving it an even coating. And I will put the, make sure that that's not fresh glue. Yeah. Glue on the other piece here soon as I've got that where I want it. Let's see. Wide side forward. Want that one to the back. And it actually doesn't need to go all the way along that straight part, but better to have too much, I guess. Maybe that's bad advice. Hopefully that will help me to keep it even. Then we have new clamps that I'm hoping help. You know what I really need right here is a square. Because if that's not square, that's going to be a problem. I probably don't have anything but the teeny tiny square. Hear me all in the drawer. I don't think this gives me enough information. Nope. What I need is a great big square that would go all the way to really check this. Up against the side and underneath both legs. And I'm trying to remember where I saw that last. I have to go on a hunt. Well, after a lot of searching, I found a square. So I've got it up against this side with the ruler part of it going down here to make sure that everything is fit together. I didn't actually have to move it, so that means that when I eyeballed it, I did a pretty good job. Pat myself on the back. I'm not going to break my arm doing it, though. And just so that it stays firmly seated, I'm going to fight with these new clamps. I found my old bar clamps while I was out there too. Man, those are in bad shape. But I was using them for metalwork, so not too surprised. I was also using them for things they shouldn't have been used for. Yeah, bad me. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside or slide it up. See if that works. And see if I have room to do the next one. And this one is a lot simpler. Wow, that's not even. Okay, I'll turn it over. While we're doing that, so it's funny, I said that I just drew it at 1.5 centimeters, and I didn't expect him to actually leave the post that wide, but he did. Because he was like, well, that's where you drew it, so that's where I left it. It was convenient. So, you know, that's where it got left. So we're putting, this is our footboard. And we're just basically getting the headboard and the footboard put together. Yeah, I didn't spread it out this time. Maybe that'll work to our advantage. And it is kind of important that it stay flat to the surface because it needs to be glued to the next piece, and it has to, the side that goes in towards the bed, the inside parts have to be flat, square, so we make contact. Let's see. Well, we're a bit tight here. Yeah, scooch. Yep. Not bad, not bad. Not jumping up and down great, but not bad. Ah, don't move. Okay, I think I can feel confident clamping that now. And we'll come back when this is dry. Well, guess what I forgot yesterday? I was supposed to be gluing this piece across here in at the same time. So, get to go gluing that today. It won't take that long, I hope, to dry. And hopefully I don't smear glue everywhere. I'm going to try this here. I've got glue on both ends. I'm going to set it down. Let's see if I can get that. Yes. Yes, I like that. Okay, we've got glue on. Gonna have to wipe up some glue. I can feel it squishing behind. Okay, where's my clamp? You're the right one. I have two that are too short. Oh, that's too short. So yeah, just leave it to me to go off and forget where I put them. There we go. Now we get to clean up. Move it aside for the other one. I don't know if you can see me doing that. Nope, off camera. Kind of want to get glue mess cleaned up because most finishes don't like, the glue will show. And I'm planning on shellac, and it does, if you leave a big glob of glue smeared. I'll have to hit this with sandpaper, I think, because the glue came out over here onto the post. So that'll have to have some sandpaper taken to it. Here's the next one. I'm having trouble finding a place to put this. Okay. So today we get to put the bottom in, and side rails. So the matching ones on the side. Oh, look at that. That just bounced right back apart. Okay, so we're gonna definitely have to have a clamp for that. Rubber bands would also work for this. You just wouldn't be able to make use of the flat surface. Checking to see that I'm in the right place. Oops, we were not in the right place. There we go. That's better. Ooh, more glue. Not that I want more glue, but that more glue just happened. Huh. Those were all the same length, I'm pretty certain, but oh man, visually messing with me. Yeah. So we have glue smeared around. I'm gonna wipe as much of it off as possible here, but it will definitely have to have a little sanding. Make sure that that's given proper pressure. Okay. All right, we're gonna wait a little bit while that dries. So here's the bottom of the bed, and we need to put the other one of these on because I attached one of them already. And it's gonna take like 3 clamps to make sure that it stays pretty straight across here, because I think, yeah, there's a little bit of a warp in the narrow piece. Not bad, but just a little bit. So I'm going to just employ 3 clamps, and hopefully I can get those in here without running into the camera too many times. And hopefully my sound is working. A couple of times I thought, well, I've switched to using a microphone and forgotten it. We're just having all the complications of making any change. And of course I don't have a paper towel handy, do I? No. Okay. I'll put that in place, grab a paper towel. Fortunately, they were close by. And then we're going to start clamping. I don't think that's wide enough. Yeah, I didn't think so. There we go. Well, maybe it was wide enough. Now I gotta move it down. The hardest one is always the first one, right? Making sure we're even every place. I may just come back to that and double check it. Yikes. Okay. Okay, we gotta, I think we feel even. Oh, this one's not as bad as the other side was. That feels pretty good across there. And there we have moved. Maybe when I move this back. Yeah, I am not even looking at this. I'm just going by feel. Well, I'm going to put a clamp there just to make sure that we've got good contact. Oh, man, learning the new clamp release. And yeah, I'm this one actually has the top of the clamp is right up in the camera. Okay, so that's clamped in place and should be set up pretty quick. And then we'll be able to, I'll go ahead and get everything sanded that's ready to be sanded and come back. Here's the bottom of the bed. Both the rails are on. And I have set it in place on my little 1, 2, 3 blocks and some cardboard to get it to the right height. I even found a different level so that I could double check and make sure that it was level. And go in both directions. Hey, what do you know? It is not level going both directions. Okay, what do we need to do? Maybe just slide that way. This is probably my desk that's not level too, on top of everything else, but that seems to have fixed it. Then put the glue on the footboard. So everything didn't exactly match up perfectly, which, you know, I kind of expected that. I've been trying to come up with things for my son to turn. He likes turning wood. He bought a lathe, secondary, you know, it's on the secondhand market, and he struggles with that executive dysfunction in coming up with something to work on. And so yeah, I'm trying to help that out, get him some practice time by giving him a project to work on, like this bed, where the post, I mean, it's not critical. It's for me, first of all. It's purely for me to work on. I mean, or to use and play with, and it's not critical. We're not trying to sell it. The hope is that at some point he'll feel confident enough that he'll want to do something that we can then offer. But at this point in time, we're just trying to get him to practice. You know, use that tool he bought. And the fact that these posts don't match up exactly is not a big deal, because when you separate the posts off and you get the bedding in here, it you don't notice. It's not critical at all. Even and I plan on putting little curtains on here, another distraction, that so you won't be able to really notice what oh boy, kind of wish I'd rubber banded the bottom. So I've got these clamps set here to use, and I'm not sure I'm coordinated enough to use them, because the clamp is not long enough by itself. But there's this lovely configuration where you can, nope, I need to have the bottom clamped before I try and put that in there, so it doesn't give. Okay, so I'm going to try this configuration. I don't know if you can see this, but you turn the one side of the clamp opposite to the other so that you can get them both to extend it. Oh boy, we need to get closer here. And then hope. Yes, hope springs eternal here. I'm gonna hold it. Oh no, no. We got to get someplace where we're getting some resistance. Nope. Like I said, I didn't have real high hopes that I was coordinated enough for that. So, don't. Oh boy. I want bigger hands. That's what I thought was going to happen. Ugh! I should have had it down in place over and then just slid this in there. Okay, try not to pull that. I need like octopus. Yep, I need like 10 more hands. Yeah, it's a good thing I can laugh at this. I'd be so ticked off otherwise. Okay, we're going to try again. Maybe if I came up from the bottom. Like I said, kind of wish there was a way to have this in place. Okay. And then just pull it up in. Nope. That's not going to work. No. If the cardboard had resistance, it would. We're going to end up, if we do it this way, we're going to have it in the glue. But I guess better in the glue than the other options. Okay, we'll try it. I'm going to move the clamps out of my way so I don't kick it someplace. Okay. Try. No! Hold on to that end, would you? So anyway, the plan I have for next week's project is not in the cardboard dollhouse. I'm going to go over to the high rise. I need to double check my level here. Okay. I'm going to go over to the high rise and I'm going to build a book nook, I hope, in the living room over there on the high rise. No. You hear me yelling no a lot, huh? Oh, I'd really wish that I had longer bar clamps. And I was thinking of having him, well, I've already asked him, and he didn't seem resistant, but it's whether or not he finds time. He's spending more time throwing pottery, which is good. Nope. Darn. And in so doing, that means he doesn't have as much free time. So, because he's going in, he's not throwing the pottery here. He's going in to town, which will eventually be, I'm not sure if it's going to be closer or further away. The Laughing Gnome is moving. And, wow, by the time I get this on here and clamped in place, I'm going to have to pry it apart and put more glue in. Yeah. Okay, one wedged corner at a time. But anyway, it takes time to go into town and then spend some time with. So we are actually subcontractors to Laughing Gnome. Mudwood Cottage makes pottery that Laughing Gnome then markets, and that works out really good for us because we're not actually that good at marketing. And Laughing Gnome is wonderful at it, but he is retirement past retirement age, really. But he doesn't know how to, he's one of those individuals who doesn't know how to retire. And I think being another one of those individuals, it's not that I don't know how, I'm just not going to be able to. Probably always be trying to look for some way to make a living. Anyway, he is kind of playing around with the idea of eventually retiring, and so trying to make sure that he's got somebody interested in taking over the business. And who knows where that will go. There was an interested couple that would have been fun because they too are very good at marketing, and that would have been nice. But I think they're pretty close to retirement age too. Anyway, leaves him without as much time, so I don't know if he'll dedicate the time to turning the piece of wood for. Did I ever say what it was I was going to try to build? A reading nook, a book nook, and I was going to have him turn a piece of wood and then cut it in half to use as a decorative piece on the in the book nook. We're going to try that rubber band one more time. And yeah, you see me here with my teeth. It's a good thing I took that lipstick off. Come on, just stick long enough for me to get the rubber band in place. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Pull it in. Oh, and we're sliding off there. Oh, I am glad I thought of a way to hold the platform up, the mattress platform up in the air, because otherwise this would have been even more nightmarish to try and accomplish. So whenever possible, when you're trying to assemble something, figure out a way to hold the parts in place so that you can then glue them. A thing that could have worked here, this pile, if I had, ooh, now I think of it, a little late. Do you know my boxes, my big wooden boxes that I use as weights on top of the cardboard? I'd set one here and kind of used it to press against to keep this side in place and pressed up against it. But of course, I didn't think of it until just now. It would have made putting the rubber bands on harder, and definitely would have meant that the clamps wouldn't have gone in place. But as I sit here and look at this, I don't know, that wouldn't have been okay. I'm not going to add it now, though. I want to move one of my rubber bands up and the other one down. Hope I'm moving the right rubber band. Did they twist in the process? We are not making contact there. Okay, well, I'm going to continue to fight with this. Or maybe not fight with it. Maybe that's a bad word. Coax it. I'm going to coax it. Moving the cardboard out because it keeps getting in the way. Like I said, I hope this is where it's attached enough. So I will regret having pulled that cardboard out. And we'll come back when it's set up. Cindy Jo hasn't found her costume yet, but her mother seems to be getting into the spirit. We're totally enjoying all the different Halloween stuff. We've got jack-o'-lanterns tucked everywhere. And you may notice that in the back there is a new, as they were called at the time, break front. I grew up calling them China hutches, and I've heard them called dressers, but we have a new one. And it is an official Cindy break front from 1978 or 77, maybe. Uh, it, I got lucky, and I am loving it. It gives us just a tiny bit more room in the dining room, and as promised, that is the new piece of furniture. You'll get to see next week, maybe, or the week after. I think it may have been pushed out to the week after. What happens with the uh, dresser slash china hutch slash back break front that was in here? I moved it, and it is being employed in a different way. I hope that you're enjoying the holiday season and decorating and having fun with your dolls. Okay, I'm ready to put some shellac on here. And this time I'm going to actually wear some gloves and maybe put my sleeves up. Should probably take the watch off.
Let's start at the top and work our way down. Try not to drip on the desk. I probably should have put a bigger drop cloth underneath this. So the posts are cherry, and I believe the rest of it is a basswood plywood. I believe that's what I remember reading on the label. So they aren't probably, well, they're not going to match. Oh, set that down there. Like I had it before. What? Okay. I have a cup of coffee looking at me over here in the corner. You can't set it down on the floor. Okay. Thank you. Oh, that's really hot. I expected that. Get to enjoy that a little later. So, I really like that whole contrast there. You can see I didn't quite get all the glue. Uh-oh. Let's turn it upside down for that.
First coat done. Well, here we are with the bed in place. It is large. But, you know, not bad, not bad. And it looks like we will be doing bedding in next week's video instead of moving on to the next project, because I just really want to see this with the curtains and the mattress in place before I move away from it. And I might put another coat of shellac, depends on how I feel about it tomorrow. But this is where we're going to stop. You can't even see Cindy Jo back there in the corner. She's kind of hiding. And we've got some clothing, and I did not make it out to the garage to make a jig for the uh, hangers, so I've still got that to do. So I will see you at the next Craft in Chat on Wednesday, and I hope you have a wonderful week and a delightful day. Bye bye. Wanted to add a little addendum here. I turned the bed around and tucked it into the corner, and I think it's going to work much better that way. It doesn't seem to overwhelm the room so much, and it just, well, I like it better. So, hey, give me your opinion. Should I put it back in the middle of the room, sticking out, or keep it tucked up in the back corner?